Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Gadadhara, Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhaktavinda, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Vimuchyatam Imam Bandham,
Vimuchyatam imam bandham
Avidya Kama Karmajam,
avidya kama karmajam
Sarva Bhuta Surat Chanto,
sarvabhuta surichanto
Maitra Karuna Atmavan,
maitrah karuna atmavan
Mochaye Grastam Atmanam,
mochaye grastam atmanam
Yosin Paya Mayaya,
yoshin mayatma mayaya
Vikridito Yayeva Vaham,
vikridito yahaivaham
Vikrito
Krida Mriga Ivadama.
krida mriga ivadhama.
Somebody like to read, please?
I can read for you.
Please. Thank you, Prabhu.
Krishna. Thank you. Translation. Because of identifying oneself with the body, one is subjected to desires for sense gratification, and thus one engages in many different types of pious and impious action. This is what constitutes material bondage. Now I shall disentangle myself from my material bondage, which has been caused by the Supreme Personality of Godhead's illusory energy in the form of a woman. Being a most fallen soul, I was victimized by the illusory energy and have become like a dancing dog led around by a woman's hand. Now I shall give up all lusty desires and free myself from this illusion. I shall become a merciful, well-wishing friend to all living entities and always absorb myself in Krishna consciousness. Purport. This should be the standard of determination for all Krishna conscious persons. Krishna conscious person should free himself from the clutches of Maya, and he should also be compassionate to all others suffering in those clutches. The activities of the Krishna consciousness movement are meant not only for oneself but for others also. This is the perfection of Krishna consciousness. One who is interested in his own salvation is not as advanced in Krishna consciousness as one who feels compassion for others, and who therefore propagates the Krishna consciousness movement. Such an advanced devotee will never fall down, for Krishna will give him special protection. That is the sum and substance of the Krishna consciousness movement. Everyone is like a play toy in the hands of the illusory energy and is acting as she moves him. One should come to Krishna consciousness to release oneself and also to release others. Hare Krishna. So, I mean, these two verses summarize what every living entity goes through in terms of, identifying oneself with the body and falling down because of sense gratification, and completely entangling ourselves in different kinds of activities, whether pious or impious. And consequently, once, as Ajamil here has realized, uh, once he is completely freed from the idea of being the body or identification with the body, then he can, start to do bhakti, start in the process of Krishna consciousness. And as he is saying here, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Yes.
Krishna.
Was it true?
Yes, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Prabhu. Sorry, just got a bit late.
No problem.
So, which text are we doing today?
Yeah, 36, 37 we've read.
Very good.
You can.
Okay. So, text 38 we have to do.
We continue 36, Guru.
No, 36, 37 we've just read.
Yes, sir, we just read you.
So if
You
you
can
can explain, yeah.
Hmm. So, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is saying, Bharat Bhumite Haile Manushya Janmajar, Janma Sarthaka Kari Kar Paropkar. See, because of identifying oneself with the body, one is subjected to desires for sense gratification, and thus one engages in many different types of pious and impious actions. See, in the Bhagavad Gita, actually, if you see, uh, second chapter itself, Krishna is saying, Dhyayato Vishyana Pumsha Sangasteshu Pajayate. Vishaya. Vishaya means material objects. So when one contemplates material objects, one becomes entangled. Well, as Keshananda Prabhu says, Dhyayato Vishyana Pumsha Buddhi Nashat Pranashyati. That as soon as you have contemplated material objects, your fall down is already complete. Everything else, everything else is just like, just a formality. Because as soon as you identify, in the second canto of Bhagavatam also we have studied that when the living entity identifies with the matter, that is the time entanglement has started. The so-called piety, impiety, all this is just like, these are just formalities. The basic problem is that living entity is identifying with matter. Life after life is changing his positions. You know, mm, this is a very simple example. Like if you go to say deep parts of Australia or Africa or even India, you'll find lots of Aboriginal people. Well, Aboriginals, like, they're not very good looking. They live in the forest. They're always in sun and elements, and they're always like, the skin is very rough. Hair is always like muddy and everything. And even there's a concept of sex life. Even there, they are entangled in sex life. Now, if you go to such a society, you will not find anyone attractive there. But in that society, people find each other very attractive. So, how do we explain that? So, it is that attraction between male and female, which is the basic fact, not whether one is good looking or not good looking. Like one of my brahmachari friends always used to tell me that it doesn't matter. Actually, if a Mataji is not very attractive, you should be even more careful. When you see an attractive Mataji or an attractive Prabhuji, you will be at least on guard that, I am experiencing attraction. But when someone is unattractive, that's the time you actually fall down because you become careless and Maya catches you. So see, and then thus one engages in different types of pious and impious action. This is what constitutes material bondage. Now I shall disentangle myself from the material bondage, which has been caused by the Supreme Personality of Godhead's illusory energy in the form of a woman. Being a most fallen soul, I was victimized by the illusory energy and have become like a dancing dog led around by a woman's hand. Now I shall give up all lusty desires and free myself from this illusion. I shall become a merciful, well-wishing friend to all living entities and always absorb myself in Krishna consciousness. So, when one contemplates, Vishya vinivartante niraharasya dehina rasvarjam rasopyasya param drishtva nivartate. So when one is able to see Krishna, then one can disentangle oneself. Now, I would just like to elaborate a little bit on this part. It's very easy to say, param drishtva nivartate. But what does that really mean? Krishna is everywhere. There are temples, there are devotees, and what is it that is preventing us from advancing in bhakti? So the process of bhakti means, you have to go into it. Hands, feet, head, everything. You should just dive into bhakti. Simply by looking at bhakti is not going to advance you. Simply by looking at bhakti is not going to attract your heart to bhakti. You go to temple, very nice. Okay, I do some kirtan, I take some prasad, I meet with some devotees, I hear one lecture. That's never going to help. You will never find bhakti like that way. I'm seeing many devotees like this. 20, 30 years in devotion and nothing, like, no inspiration. So how should one execute bhakti? So bhakti should be executed under the guidance of a bona fide spiritual master wholeheartedly. Do something out of your comfort zone. Go a little deeper into it. Now here, for example, it is written, one who is interested in his own salvation is not as advanced in Krishna consciousness as one who feels compassion for others and therefore propagates in the Krishna consciousness movement. This is the crux of bhakti, propagation of the movement. How does that actually work and how does that help? So you see, we are Gaudiya Vaishnavas. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has said Jare dekha tare kaha Krishna Upadesh. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur has said that, you eat rice on Ekadashi, but go out and preach. He who has life can preach. Only dead men don't preach. Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur says. Srila Prabhupada says, lock up the temples if there are not enough men, but go out on the streets and do Sankirtan. That is the secret. And that's very tough. It's very tough. Preaching to others is very difficult because you will face insults, you will face rejection, you will face loneliness. I mean, no one wants to associate with a preacher, really. So, this all you'll face. But if you are able to face it and tolerate all of this, then you will advance in bhakti, certainly. Because preaching you are not doing for yourself, you are doing for Krishna. Jare dekha tare kaha Krishna Upadesh. That's a very difficult part, Speaking about Krishna is very difficult. But that's a science also. We don't just preach blindly, we just pick up anyone and start talking about Krishna. Sometimes devotees do that. In the middle of a train, they'll just start talking about Krishna or something. We don't have that level of realization. Krishna is realized in various aspects. Right from the second chapter of Gita, you can realize Krishna. So talk about those things. Talk about your own realizations in bhakti. And then you see how people's hearts are converted. Otherwise, Maya will catch you. Even the so-called Sankirtan, Prasadam, they'll also be Maya then. Actually, going to temple itself will become a Maya. I know brahmacharis who are lustily attracted towards the deity of Radharani. Because they were in deity dressing and also they would become very lustily attracted to Radharani. And that's not very surprising. I mean, literally, we are all lusty after Radharani only. That's why we are in the material world. Material energy is Krishna's energy. She's Radharani. And we are attracted to this material nature. We want to enjoy it. So that is lusty desire. Enjoying material nature is a lusty desire. So we are lustily attracted towards Radharani. And that's why we are here. So how do we remedy this situation? By reversing this attraction. Start getting attracted to Krishna. And that attraction is manifested when you are serving Krishna. Compassionate to all others suffering in those clutches. That's the word Prabhupada is using. Arjuna is also compassionate. He is compassionate at the level of body. And after receiving education from Krishna, he is compassionate at the level of the soul. So that is compassion. And that's how we should be. So you see, act in bhakti. Like, now I shall disentangle myself from material bondage. I shall become a merciful, well-wishing friend to all living entities and always absorb myself in Krishna consciousness. So this is obviously what he's saying, that he'll perform tapasya and he'll preach. Absorb myself in Krishna consciousness. I shall become a friend to all. The only friend to all living entities is one who preaches Krishna Bhakti. Krishna Bhakti kaile sarva karma krit hoye. So that is Bhakti. So if you really want to advance in Krishna consciousness, make plans to preach. And simplest way of preaching is book distribution. Just go, take a table, sit somewhere, start selling books. And when people come, they ask questions, you preach to them. And that way you also ensure that one who's coming to you is only someone who's interested. So this is the secret. That's how ISKCON grew so big. That's how Srila Prabhupada actually started his movement. Hare Krishna. Yes, any questions or comments? So shall we continue? Text 38. Maham iti dehadau
Mahasam
Aham iti dehadau
hitva mityartha dhirmatim
hitva mityartha dhirmatim
Dhirmatim.
hasya mano bhagavati
hasya mano bhagavati
Bhagavati.
shuddham tat kirtanadibhi.
Shuddham tat kirtanadibhi.
Very good.
Yes, please.
Go on, Prabhu.
Very
Go on,
good.
Madhu.
Thank you. Oh, Prabhu. Thank you. Translation purport by Sri Prabhupada. Translation. Simply because I chanted the holy name of Lord in the association of devotees, my heart is now becoming purified. Therefore, I shall not fall victim again to the false lures of material sense gratification. Now that I have become fixed in the truth, henceforward, I shall not identify myself with the body. I shall give up false conceptions of I and mine and fix my mind on the lotus feet of Krishna. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. How a living entity becomes a victim of the material condition is lucidly explained in this verse. The beginning is misidentifying the body as one self. Therefore, Bhagavad Gita begins with the spiritual instructions that one is not the body, but is within the body. The consciousness can be possible only if one chants the holy name of Krishna, the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, and always keep oneself in the association of devotees. This is the secret of success. Therefore, we say that one should chant the holy name of the Lord and keep oneself free from the contaminations of this material world, especially the contaminations of the lusty desires of illicit sex, meat eating, intoxicating and gambling. With determination, one should follow these principles and thus be saved from the miserable conditions of the material existence. The first necessity is to become freed from the bodily concept of life. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhu. Hmm. Simply because I chanted the holy name of the Lord in the association of devotees, my heart is now becoming purified. Sadhu Sangha Sarva Shastra Kaya, Lava Matra Sadhu Sangha Sarva Siddhi Hai. So chanting means Sankirtan, everything. All the association. We are discussing the glories of Krishna, studying Bhagavatam, that is Sankirtan. Like Prabhupada says, Sankirtan means glorification of Krishna. So it could be chanting, it could be singing, it could be reading Bhagavatam. All this is Sadhu Sangha. All of this, because we are not associating with each other, we are associating with Srila Prabhupada. So this is genuine sadhu sangha. We are reading Prabhupada's words. So now, but then again, we have to pay very careful attention what he's saying. Therefore, I shall not fall victim to the false lures of material sense gratification. Now that I have become fixed in the absolute truth, henceforward I shall not identify myself with the body. So one has to, this is tapasya. We have to also be careful because we are still in Maya. We are still living in the domain of Maya. Therefore, there is every chance that we can fall down again. So we have to dissociate ourselves from this Maya. And how do we do that? By constantly keeping association of Krishna and the devotees. Tasmat sarveshu kaleshu mam anusmar yudhyacha. Always think of me and fight. Sarveshu kaleshu. All times, at all times, think of me and fight. So when you are here, all the time, you are in your profession, you are traveling, you are with family, always think of Krishna. Therefore, we stress that one should chant the holy name of the Lord and keep oneself free from contaminations of this material world. Srila Prabhupada is directly saying that. It is our responsibility to free ourselves from material contamination. Please remember one thing. Even if you're chanting, if you are still living with material energy, you'll have a tendency to fall down at any point. Now, one may think, oh, how can I fall down? I'm intelligent enough. That is actually foolishness. The moment you feel safe from a fall down, that's the time you are actually most vulnerable. That's the time actually you should think that you have already fallen down. Material nature, that's why you see big sadhus like Narottam Das Thakur or Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, they're always in great humility that I am so fallen. Actually, how am I fallen? I am fallen because I can't see Krishna. Simple as that. Krishna is unmanifest from me. Therefore, I am the most fallen. If I were to be pure and spiritually advanced, I would see Krishna. But since I am not seeing him, I am actually very fallen. In this way, you can maintain your humility. So even Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would always say, I am not seeing Krishna. Oh, hey Radhe, where are you? He would always be like this, meditating on Krishna and Radha. Actually, he was in the mood of Radharani, always thinking of Krishna. So you see, in this way, we can always keep ourselves humble, associate with the sadhus and try to think of Krishna. Just yesterday, I was reading one letter of Srila Prabhupada. Someone is asking him, how should I chant? Prabhupada says, focus on Hare Krishna. Just the sound, Hare Krishna. Meditate on that sound. Your tongue should speak, your ears should hear. That's it. There should be no other thoughts in your mind. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Only that much. That is actual Krishna. That is total meditation on Krishna. So, especially the contaminations of lusty desires for illicit sex, meat eating, intoxication, and gambling. Now, this is a very interesting and scary point. What is the definition of illicit sex here? So, Srila Prabhupada is explaining, sex for without the desire of procreation is illicit sex. So, it's not that simply getting married is a solution of the problem. No, that's why, we advocate that one should not marry non-devotees because it's very dangerous. Non-devotee world means sex life is the only objective. In fact, like sex is celebrated in the non-devotee society. I mean, if you think very soberly, you'll realize that in this material society, sex is celebrated. They may appear very gentlemanly, okay, so and so is such a senior or government officer or such a sober gentleman, well behaved, but his mind is occupied with sex life. Such and such lady is so shy, so chaste, but mind is full of sex desire only. Material society is only that. The whole of like 99% of Bollywood is just about sex life. The whole society, everyone just talks about marriage, love, marriage. What is all this? This is just celebration of sex life. So we should be very careful of this society. No one is thinking about Krishna. In this mundane society, no one is thinking of Krishna. So we have to be very cautious. So, so we have to be very, very careful. Because associations, like Prabhupada says, sex life, licit or illicit, is always a cause of trouble. Because you forget Krishna. There's nothing good or bad about anything in this material world. It is just what it is. Just an interaction of Brahma with Mahatattva. That's what this material world is. But the complexities created by false ego entangle the eternal Brahman in the Mahatattva. So one needs to be very, very particular. So one should avoid any sort of materialistic activity actually. Pravritti is actually condemned in Dharma Shastra. Actually, not in Dharma Shastra, in the Bhakti Shastras. Pravritti means entanglement. Whether it is done religiously or irreligiously, it is always a source of misery. It is always an entanglement. So because it ties us down to this body. I am a male. I love females. I am a man. I know this. I am an engineer. I am a doctor. This aham mameti. So, and sex life actually, it firms it up. We become tied down, nailed down to this concept. So we need to be very careful. Hare Krishna. Yes, any questions or comments here? Okay, text 39. Iti jata sunirveda
इति सुनिर्देह
nanasangena sudhashu. Sadhushu.
संगेन साधुषु
Ganga dwaram upeyaya
संगेन उपेयाय
mukta sarvanu bandhana.
मुक्त सर्वानुबंधन.
Yes. Would someone like to read? Pranam Prabhu? Okay. Okay, Ramtilak Prabhu, you can read.
Yeah, I'll do it. Translation purport was given just from purpose. 39, Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhu.
Because of a moment's association with devotees, Vishnu Dutas, Ajamil detached himself from the material conception of life with determination. Thus, free from all material attraction, he immediately started for Haridwar. Purport. The word Mukta Sarvanubandhana indicates that after this incident, Ajamila, not caring for his wife, children, went straight to Haridwar for further advancement in spiritual life. Our Krishna consciousness movement now has centers in Vrindavan and Navajiva, so that those who want to live a retired life, whether they be devotees or not, can go there and with determination go up to bodily concept of life. One is welcome to live in these holy places for the rest of rest of his life in order to achieve the highest success by a very simple method of chanting the holy name of the Lord and taking prasadam. Thus, one may return home back to Godhead. We do not have a center in Haridwar, but Vrindavan and Sridham Mayapur are better for devotees than any other place. The Chaitanya Chandrodaya temple offers one a good opportunity to associate with devotees. Let us all take this advantage of this opportunity. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So actually the idea of going to holy places is that one is going there to give up this body. One does not go to holy places to simply enjoy a vacation and come back. Let's eat some nice tasty prasadam. Let us see what are the interesting places. Then I can go home. No. That's the reason, why I'm suggesting, Srila Prabhupada suggested this thing actually, that don't go sightseeing in holy places. Oh, let us see this, let us see that, let's do Navadvip Dham Parikrama, let us do this. That is all complete nonsense. Total nonsense. In today's date, it is nonsense. When they were planning to build a railway line to Mayapur from Calcutta, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur opposed it. He said, no, if it becomes too convenient, then nonsense people will flood Mayapur. I remember traveling to Mayapur in 2000 and even 2000, till 2013. The road used to be horrible. The road till 2013 was a terrible road. Just that 2-lane highway which was going via Barasat to Siliguri. Now they are making this 6-lane expressway there. And Mayapur is turning into grossly materialistic place. Everywhere you see just business, business, business. When I was there 24 years ago, it was a beautiful place. It was literally like what you read in Chaitanya Charitamrita. Today it looks like a mini city. All the mud huts are gone. There are big houses, huge complexes coming up there. There's even some 100-bed hospital coming up there with all the latest facilities like MRI and all. That is nonsense. That is complete materialism. So we should go to Dham to associate with the sadhus there, to liberate ourselves from this bodily concept, not to enhance it. One does not go to Dham to live in a very comfortable place. Okay, now I'll have a very nice bed, nice air conditioned apartment. I'll enjoy here. Come with us, Agarwal builders. We will make you Dhamvasi. We'll make you Brajvasi. Complete nonsense. All very offensive. One should take austerity in Dham. The purpose of taking austerities in Dham is that we are now purifying ourselves of this bodily misconception. That's why we take austerities in the Dham. That, okay, now this material life is over. Like Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur would say, that you take a one-way ticket to Vrindavan. One should just go there and live, especially when one becomes older. One should spend time there. Unless one is preaching. If one is preaching, then one should preach till the last breath. One should die like a fighter. One should till the last breath go on preaching, like Srila Prabhupada did. That will be also mercy of Krishna. But if that is not the case, then one should simply go and live in the Dham and meditate on the holy name. Hare Krishna. Yes. Any questions or comments? Okay, then we stop here today. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna, Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Yeah.
So,
Thank you,
Krishna.
Guruji.
Wonderful.
Very good,
Hare
Pranam.
Krishna, thank you. Dandavat